on 4 minutes
Yeah.
in, and then restart it back up. You see, I named it Volume 2 this time instead of Part 2.
What you doing? You this shit part two. Man, fuck it. It is what it is. We can fix that shit. I mean, we ain't worry about it.
But
Hey
yeah,
man, listen, man.
we back live. Sorry
Man,
about
we back.
the
Yeah, we back live, man.
interruption.
I'm having some technical difficulties over here, man. It is what it is. You know, nigga shit, man. You know, this is what this is what happens when you working with bullshit. You know, you gotta do shit from your phone because you ain't really got a good webcast. But it ain't gonna stop me from getting this information out. Um, like King was saying, man, he's the guy that deals with the fitness. He's the guy that deals with the workouts. He like to deal with that aspect as far as workouts and training the body and molding the body to where it needs to be at. Because I know he gave me a lot of different fitness instructions on how to improve my core, certain workouts I can do as far as shoulders and back, a lot of different things like that. And yes, and I'm the guy that pretty much I do the research. I do the research. I do the studying on herbal supplements, herbs. I study holistic healing. I study natural pathology. I study human physiology and anatomy. I'm constantly reading, trying to learn and discover and just understand the human body, understand black genetics, understand why it's so crucial and important that the things that we put inside our body are so critical and vital on how we live and how we function from a day-to-day standpoint. And I just feel like when you understand your temple, when you understand your body, there's nothing that you cannot accomplish from your mind to your body to your soul. So this is to me, health is like the, if not pound for pound, probably the most, I would say probably the most critical and the most say as far as in my lifestyle, man. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I love it. And I'm always trying to find ways that I can help people because for me, it's because of the interaction that I see. You know, every day that I'm out and about, I'm seeing people that's obese. I'm seeing people that are having health complications from relatives to friends. And people need answers. People need structure. And people need these things to implement into their lifestyle so that they can make the changes. But at the end of the day, like I was saying last week, it's all going to come down to what you want for yourself specifically, man. You know, you got to want to make these changes for yourself. I can give you information all day about what to do and what to eat and what to drink. Applying these things to your daily lifestyle, it's not, or either doing these things and disciplining yourself about these things, it's not going to make a difference. So what I want to talk about tonight, King, you know what I mean, is I want to make some recommendations. I want to talk about some food recommendations, some things that you can modify into your diet. Things that people actually get misconstrued when if I want to transition to the vegan plant-based or the vegetarian lifestyle, or if I want to kind of weed meat out of my diet, you know, I'm not going to say I want to be fully vegan. I'm not going to say I want to be fully vegetarian, but I do want to alleviate the meat as much as possible in my diet. Banks, what are some things, or Terrence, what are some things that I can start doing to correct these things? Well, one of which is that like I tell people all the time is you can't take something out of a person's diet and not replace it with something better.
Right.
So if I say, okay, well, listen, if you eating red meat or if you eating chicken or you eating turkey on a consistent basis, if I on your diet, you know what I mean, I'm gonna have to replace it with this back into you. I'm gonna replace something that's back into your diet. So the thing that I want to emphasize on is that, okay, things that you can start off doing is that when you cook your food, more so specifically your meats, right? It's very important that you don't overcook your meats. Even if you if you grill a chicken or you bacon chicken, you don't want to overcook it because when you cook meat, you denature it anyway. Therefore, there's a lot of nutritional components as far as the meat goes, or not a lot of nutrients in the meat that you're getting rid of. There's no longer going into your body that's essential. You're just eating dead flesh. You're eating overcooked flesh. Yes, your taste receptors is programming your mind that this food is actually tasting good. But when you're ingesting the food and it's going into your body is basically converting that shit into waste. it's taking certain parts about it and it's just turned into waste. And a lot of the waste is not filtrating through your system as far as your digestion and your colon. It's just turned into the waste, and your body is essentially not getting the shit that it needs to get. I tell people all the time, you can eat a fucking 4-ounce can or 4-ounce amount of black beans, and you can get the same exact amount of protein that you could get as you eat a damn 8-ounce steak. It's the same equivalency. Nothing's
and
a
you get
fall
more
off there.
fiber.
And you get more fiber. You get more fiber, but it's also important that you don't overcook the beans, because beans are fermented. So when you ferment the beans and when you cook the beans, you don't want to overcook them because you're taking the nutritional value out of the beans. You see what I'm saying? So also say is that when you actually implement and when you're taking out, if you want to take out meat and you want to add in some beans, a lot of different things that you can also add in well that is high in protein that is good for you. Things that you can supplement into your diet. Lentils. Lentils has the highest protein concentration than any other bean that you can eat, as far as when you're dealing with the legumes, okay? Lentils, right? Also, what I want to say is that you can start using also. You can also use quinoa, right? A lot of people don't know about that, but that's a good transition as well as far as high in protein and very healthy substitute for you, especially if you want to weed off the white rice, weed off the brown rice. Quinoa is a good transition and it's tasty. That's another thing too. When you cook the quinoa, you want to make sure you steam it. You don't want to overcook the quinoa as well. You see what I'm saying? And let me see what else. People ask a question when they say, well, I like to eat rice. The best rice that you can eat, right? You want to eat organic brown rice for one. That's not a bad thing to eat, organic brown rice. But the only rice, technically speaking, this is based on Dr. Leila Africa and Dr. Sabi, from what they say is wild rice. Rice needs specifically to get a lot of nutrition out of, which is protein. You want to get you can get good riboflavin out of that. You also can get good iron out of it. So there's certain nutritional minerals that you can get from wild rice that you don't have to eat as far as that sticky white shit, that sticky white rice or brown rice. Because Keem will tell you, I mean, for real, if you look up a lot of the brown rice, that shit is nothing but colored white rice. The way that they sell it on the market is really hard to find good quality brown rice. And I ain't talking about that bullshit that you eating at Chipotle, because it's really there's not a whole lot of nutritional value in that. So you got quinoa, you got lentils, you got black beans, you got brown rice, you got certain parts organic brown rice, you got wild rice. Also another grain that is high in protein too. And I don't know if Keem is familiar with this. You can start eating this amaranth. You can find amaranth in Wegmans. You can find it in Whole Foods. You can find it at pretty much any kind of organic food grocery market. You got anything, King? You want to chime in?
I'm talking with some cats in my chat. They're looking at it right now. I'm trying to tell you, don't move your hands so much because you're chopping up. So they said your sound quality is good, but your picture is chopping because you moving.
My picture chopping.
Yeah, so don't move so much. Don't move your hands so much. Just, you know what I mean? The more you move, the more it's going, you know what I'm saying? The frames of the picture got to move with your hand. So try to cut your movement down some. But yeah, other than that, they said your sound is good. They said the information is good. So yeah, you keep going in. You know, this just strong point. So keep going in.
All right. So we talking about another grain that you can also implement into your diet is amaranth. Amaranth is like basically an ancient grain that that's very popular over in the Eastern culture as far as the Indians. Talking about Native American. It's also popular in places like Egypt. It's also popular in places like, you know, Libya and a lot of places in East Africa. They eat amaranth. Very high in protein. And another grain that you can start getting that you can look up. You probably have to buy this. Keem, what's the store that you sent me the one time before? I still haven't bought I bought one or two things off of it. What is it called? Thrive?
Thrive Market. So it's a
Thrive Market.
I get some stuff from there, some organic protein. You can get plant-based protein, everything on there is pretty much plant-based, organic. I mean, the peanut butter, everything on there is good. But it's called thrivemarket.com, THRIVE market.com. Good website for, and they ship pretty fast too. It got some real good organic stuff on there. So, you can't get out to your organic Joe's or your Trader Joe's or your, Mom's Organic or any of those places. That's a real good site to check out.
Okay. And once again, let me re-emphasize what I'm talking about here, because those are just tuning in now. I'm trying to name healthier substitutes with high protein for those that hit the gym, those that are concerned with, okay, if I make a transition, if I weed meat out, how the fuck can I get the protein in my diet? And I'm naming things off the top of my head. I'm not researching. This is just based on the research that I've done of things you can substitute. So I said pretty much, let me do a refresher for those that are just getting in now. I said you can do transition to black beans. Black beans is high in fiber, like Keem said, and high in protein, right? And you don't need a big amount of that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a whole lot of beans to get those certain things, because you can get those things in specific meals. Understand something. They said based on the daily nutritional value, or the daily whatever it is, that the body needs daily is, like they said,
hands, Mom, hands,
calorie.
Hands.
The hands again.
Yeah, hands,
listen, I can't help it. I can't help it. The hands is just critical. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to talk without using fucking hands. But they said that the body pretty much needs 65 grams a day of protein to be, I guess you could say, to get you know what I'm saying, the daily value, 65 grams. So you think about it. A lot of times we're overeating protein anyway. We don't even realize it.
Right.
This goes for those who work out and those who don't work out. Protein, right? And I got some information written down here. The body does not need protein. The body needs amino acids. Amino acids is what your DNA and RNA we create that has its own proteins, right? Because every cell,
the building blocks.
Yes, because every cell needs its own protein. DNA is used to give the blueprint, like Keem said, the building blocks to how to build protein. You know what I mean? So, and I'm gonna go a little bit more on this later on, meaning that pretty much amino acids, and you need specific nutrients to build these blocks. Along the way, protein is crucial, because protein is a special component that the body needs to function and to stay healthy and to keep, but it does not define your shape, and it doesn't determine your weight, nor does it determine your overall health. So I just want to make that clear to people that pretty much have the wrong misconception about protein, right? You can get protein, but you don't need meat to get your protein, to get your daily value of protein. And you don't need 65 grams of fucking protein every day to be efficient. A lot of times when people go to their health physicians and they look at their doctors, the doctor will tell you your protein levels are anyway. You don't even just you're engulfing and you're taking in meats every fucking day. And to be honest with you, the average person eats about 110 to 120 grams of protein a day, because that's based on the large quantities of meat, grains, and other things that contain protein levels. So, like I said, man, you got black beans, wild rice, quinoa. These are just your legumes, lentils. And then you also have your grains, which are your amaranth, your farro. These are things that are high in protein that you can substitute. You can steam these, use these for meal prep. If you're a bodybuilder or weight trainer, this transition, you can meal prep these things and add these specifically to your vegetables and your fruits when you do eat your grilled chickens or you eat your baked salmons. You see what I'm saying?
Let me chime in real quick. I think we might have to try to go back to your Wi-Fi too, though, because you chopping up a lot, but your sound coming through, but just your picture chopping up. But I want you, yeah. But for the people, I want you to so like, let me just talk about my own personal struggle, because I'm in that transition phase, as you say. I'm trying to cut down from from always consuming meat to to putting in more more beans and more grains and other different types of ways to get my protein, right? So
yeah,
for someone that's trying to make that transition, a lot of that has to do with taste, right? Like, it's going. You gotta, like you told me one time, you gotta retrain your taste buds. Another thing is,
yes,
how you prepare it. Like tell the people how they can prepare this, you know, the grains and the, you know, and the different you know, substances that you're given, because, you know, like, you know, what you, is it better to take this stuff in the morning? Is it better, you know, cook it up for breakfast, for dinner? Is it, you know what I'm saying? You know, we have different foods that we like to eat at different times of day. What kind of energy value does it give if you take it at a certain time? Things of that nature. So, you know, trying to give people a view of where and what times they can kind of implement these things, what they prepare it with, was it good with, so they can have a general idea of where to start. You know what I mean?
I would, relatively speaking, based on the foods that I'm talking about, like I said, these legumes, these are still right on the borderline of starches, right? So they're still high in carbs. They're still high in, the carb levels are still high. So you really want to be mindful that if somebody that's type 2 diabetes, or somebody that has sugar issues, that you don't want to intake more carbs than what the body specifically needs. I would recommend these particular foods that you cook could be lunchtime. Relatively speaking, most vegans would tell you that they wouldn't want to eat really something that's high in carbs, or, you know what I mean, as far as the lunch meal, especially if you work in an office environment, because that can make you sluggish and your body will also have to process these things. If you're somebody that's working out and you want you know what I mean, a pre-workout meal, or somebody that's, you come home from work in the evening time, it would be a good time to prepare this meal around like between 5-ish or 6-ish, that you can prepare and have it, you know, set for you when you want to eat these foods, and have it done. That's my times I would recommend it. I definitely would not recommend any of these in the morning time. Morning times, relatively speaking, you really should be eating nothing but fruits. Something that's simple but not too heavy. Something that's going to give you some energy, that your body gonna suck out the galactose it needs. The body doesn't need fructose, it doesn't need sucrose, and it doesn't need it does need glucose, but it needs good glucose sugars. But really, when you eat these fruits, from a black DNA standpoint, the body needs galactose. So you don't want to overeat in the morning times for your breakfast. Your breakfast, really, necessarily speaking, King, shouldn't be no more than a maximum. Max, I would say max, and this is a fine line of max, of 500 calories. I can even say that you would really need that just to get your day propelled, because a lot of times, King, we're mixing in coffee, we're drinking tea, we got beverages that's going to give us energy. So there's no need to mix those that shoot your blood sugars up, as high in carbs or high blood sugars, like bread and your bagels and all that shit like that. Now you can eat those things occasionally, because I do. I eat vegan waffles. I may have a vegan bagel, something that's chilled, you know what I mean? But that also may depends on how critical my workout was. So let's say, for example, if I go to the gym and I did 4 miles that morning, my metabolism is boosted. I can eat something that's a little bit more heavier, but if I just didn't go do nothing and I woke up that morning, why the fuck would I eat something that heavy? All the thing that would do for me, King, is pretty much make me sluggish in the mornings, fuck up my concentration, I wouldn't be able to focus like I need to be able to focus. And yeah, I can drink a coffee or I can drink a tea, but that'll boost me up. About 11 to 10 o'clock, I'm crashing.
Right.
My body is pretty much trying to do something once. So I would just recommend something very light for breakfast in the morning. Maybe, like, for those that are still eat dairy, maybe like a chill Greek yogurt, something like that. Because back when I was eating dairy, Greek yogurt, shit, you can give me a Greek yogurt and give me a fucking banana or some apples or something like that, and I'm good to go. Substance and the content that's in it.
Let me also let me chime in on the dairy for a second, because I got some information about that as well. I'm pretty sure you might be aware of it. From what I hear, from what I've heard, and I don't know how 100% this is, because I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I heard that all human beings are lactose intolerant.
Facts.
I feel like so they say, like, you know, if you're like everybody has a different response to dairy than other people. So some people, it might give you gas. For children, it gives them an odor. Certain children, you know what I'm saying? So it has different effects on your body. But just because you might not, you know, throw up or get the hives or whatever other people might get, does not mean that you're not you're not lactose intolerant. I know for me, I found I was lactose intolerant. Well, I've known for a long time that I was lactose intolerant, but I know, but like my cases are milder than other people's. But I know my intestine swells up. As far as like, I'll get really gassy. I'll get stomach pains in my gut. Almost immediately after consuming whether it's ice cream or some cheese. I eat pizza, some cheese, or I drink some milk in my cereal, which I don't do anymore. I'll do all almond milk. But the only dairy I really consume now is if I have some ice cream or if I eat some pizza. And I'm trying to cut that out. But I learned almost immediately. Like, I was just talking to somebody, and they were telling me, like, yeah, all human beings are lactose intolerant. Even if you fart after you eat dairy, that is your body's response to you consuming something that you're allergic to. Your body is allergic to a lot of different things, and it responds in different ways. Just because you don't have the typical response that people might say makes you lactose intolerant doesn't mean you're not lactose intolerant. Everybody is lactose intolerant, and everybody responds differently to milk than other people. But everybody's body has a certain response when it comes to milk. And if you pay attention to yourself, you pay attention to the reactions of your bodies, you'll know how you feel when you consume milk and how you feel when just dairy in general, how you know we consume dairy and when you don't. So that's one thing people should keep an eye on. Another thing that I also wanted to chime in when it comes to dairy is that the dairy industry and the milk consumption, a lot of people think that milk is good for calcium and it builds strong bones. And we all saw that little pyramid chart when we was growing up and everything, where they had the milk and the cheese. You got to get your dairy in there. That is a complete farce. It's a completely farce. I'm gonna tell you where part of that came from. Part of that comes from the dairy industry lobbied with the federal government to introduce milk and physicians within the country in the early 1900s to get milk as an essential part of the human diet. So they basically started this campaign because, for one, the beef industry was taking off and booming during this time period. And so you had all of these cows that they was slaughtering, but they was producing tons of milk, and they needed to get rid of this milk. So in order for this milk not to be wasted, they campaign as any industry should do. They advertised and created telling people that milk was good for the body. They had all these commercials with the milkman. And you can look at early TV. You had your milkman that dropped off the milk. You had the pyramid. It all was a campaign by the federal government and the dairy industry to fool people, and they specifically marketed to our children, right? To fool people, to make you think that dairy was an essential part and milk was an essential part of the human diet, which is not true at all. We are the only creatures on this planet that consumes the milk of another animal freely. You know what I'm saying? Just out of something to do. So, I mean, that tells you right there. So, we're not supposed to consume milk. I'm not saying you can cut dairy completely out. Of course, there's uses for it, but everything is in moderation. Like we talked about everything here today, everything is moderation. Meat should be in moderation. Your dairy consumption should be in moderation. Your carbs, all these things should be in moderation. So that's what we want, just to make people understand and know what you're consuming and the history behind what you're consuming before you start, just so you can know and have some background on some things. People say, because a lot of times I tell people, man, milk is bad for you. They be like, man, it ain't bad for you. They've been telling us milk was good for us since we was kids. And it's hard to take that programming out of people, because you take what the government says, which you learn as a child, you take that with you for the rest of your life. So you think these people telling you the truth, like, no, people automatically talk about that pyramid. That pyramid is pretty much obsolete. Like, if you talk to any real doctor today, any real pediatrician, they will tell you that pyramid is obsolete. When I talked to my daughter's pediatrician, and she told me, like, straight up, like, no one follows that anymore. That pyramid. Only people that still follow that pyramid are people that are bored off by the dairy industry, or they've been sitting in your school for so long in your health office for 20, 30 years, they just forgot to get rid of it. So no one follows that pyramid anymore.
It's complete. It's complete bullshit. And let me build off of that since you went on the dairy, because I was actually gonna go in on that a little later. So for those that don't know, right? When I talk to people about veganism, from my personal experience, I tell people all the time, I say, you know what? I'd rather for you, even though meat is fucking filthy in the meat industry and the poultry industry is filthy, I would rather for you to consume meat before I'd rather for you to consume dairy. And they look at me like I'm crazy, right? And I say, you want to know why? It's like, why? It's because dairy and soy both are two of the filthiest fucking nutritional things that's on the market that is killing people.
Say that one more time. Say it one more time. Dairy and what else?
Dairy and soy.
Soy.
You want to know what's similar about dairy and soy? Is that I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna break it down for you.
See, soy, that's a good one too. I'm glad you brought up soy. Keep going on that.
96% of soy is GMO, meaning genetically modified. That shit is bullshit.
Oh shit.
And if you notice that most products that you may eat, if you look at the back of the ingredients on the back of the labels of these foods that you eat, it's going to say contains soy, contains wheat, or contains dairy. 9 times out of 10, and not even going to say dairy, it's going to say milk. 9 times out of 10, most of the products that's actually people that are eating day to day contains dairy, and they don't even know it. It's completely, like if you look on the back of a bag of Doritos, it says milk. If you look on the back of any bag of Lay's potato chips, it's going to say milk. 5% of Lay's potato chips or Frito-Lay's or any type of potato chips has dairy in it. The only chips that I know from a manufacturing standpoint and that are sold on public food markets are oats. Those ones don't contain as much milk as these Frito-Lay's and these other packages. But let me go in a little bit on the dairy industry. Because the reason I was going to say that is because I was going to talk to y'all a little bit about transitioning to plant-based protein powder for those that are you making smoothies or those that are in the weight room and want to find a nutritional modification or something that they can supplement into their diet. I was going to talk about this, but I'm going to get to this as well. Okay, so dairy, like Keem was saying, everything that Keem said was 100% facts. 100% facts. It's not a conspiracy. This is what they did back in the early 1900s. They campaigned for this, and they had pretty much a contractual agreement on how they wanted to market the dairy industry. The goddamn milkman commercials coming to your house, serving the milk in the bottles, like all of these things were essential components. And not to mention, the milk industry and the dairy industry was a part of eugenics. Part of eugenics in sense, because all of these people were tied together. Margaret Sanger on Parenthood, all of these things tied in together was a part of the major diabolical destruction that was going on with genocide within our food industry that we had no idea that was going on. That was very prevalent then and still prevalent now. Now, Derek, why do you want to know that? Why you want to know pretty much everybody, whether you're white or black, more definitely hands down black people, why we're lactose and intolerant, is that pretty much can fuck up your respiratory system, especially in kids from ages 1 to 5. If you look up any information on that, dairy is the #1 cause in children ages 1 through 5 or 18 months to the age of 5 that causes asthma. Facts. And not to mention, dairy can also have a major part of your respiratory system, meaning that pretty much it can cause you to have sleep apnea. It can cause you to have sicknesses and diseases.
Acne.
Acne is not even a problem. You can get paralysis. Eczema is hands down. Eczema is caused by dairy and soy. This is why these two things have so many similarities. It's because the dairy industry is so filthy. It contains so much live bacteria and pus So when they're inside these dairy plants and they manufacture and they're using so much radiation to process this milk, there's over 24,000 or 25,000 live bacteria that's floating around inside these milks. That's why when a lot of times when these children are drinking this 2% in this whole milk, once they're transitioning off of being breastfed or bottled Similac milk, they're catching crazy ear infections. That's why I could never understand that till I had to do my own personal research. And once I weeded my son to fuck off the milk, it was the proof. The pudding was in the eye. Go ahead, Ma.
Here's another thing. I got a personal testimony for that with my own child, right? Another thing that the milk causes is early puberty and an increase in hormones in your children. So
facts.
Estrogen levels, testosterone levels fluctuate and spike increasingly when your children consume milk. I had to tell my daughter's preschool teacher to stop giving my daughter chocolate milk, even though I would tell my daughter not to drink chocolate milk when she got to school, but she's 3 years old. So if a teacher offered her chocolate milk, she gonna take it. She don't know how to tell a teacher no yet. So, she gonna take it. I had to tell the teacher, stop giving my daughter chocolate milk. It was causing my daughter's, she's 3 years old and she already having an underarm smell. No 3-year-old should have that, should have a smell coming off their underarms at this early in their age. That's hormones. You don't reach that, you don't start getting perspiring and getting a smell coming from your underarms until you reach a certain level in growth, until your hormones start increasing, when you start to mature up in age. You know what I'm saying? For me, for boys, is around like 8, 9, 10, or 11 because they started to transition into the adolescent stage. So no way should a little girl at 3 years old, I'm picking her up from school and I'm like, "Ooh, your underarm smell." No way, because she's drinking milk. So it's causing. So we wonder why our kids are reaching. I don't know, people who don't know this fact right here. I'm not going to assume everybody knows it, but our children are reaching puberty at a much younger age than they was before. The average age for puberty now in America for boys is about I think 9 years old, and for girls it is 7. So your little girl at 7 years old is getting her first period. Between 7 and 9 years old, she's getting her first period now. That was never the case before. It used to be around 12 to 13 years old. These children are reaching puberty younger because a part of this is because of the steroids that they are putting in the food that they eat, and a big component of this, and my personal belief, is 50% of that is coming from the dairy industry and the milk that they consume. As Banks talked about, the hormones and the steroids that they putting in these cows. For one, you getting these jacked up. Not only is the milk GMO, which is why I don't even eat beef anymore, right? But the actual cows are pretty much genetically modified as well. They modifying the animal now, so they growing muscles in places they're not supposed to grow muscles. If you ever seen what these, you would have to Google it because they try to hide these facts from you. But if you ever seen what these cows look like before they actually take them to slaughter, and these are the same cows that they're using to get the milk from, right? So, and another thing is they don't use male cows. They're using all female cows, right? So it's something about the meat of a bull that it's not the same. So they're using mostly all female meat when you slaughtering the cows, and they also using they're using these same cows to get the milk from. So you pumping these cows full of steroids, and then you taking that milk and you also processing that milk and you selling that milk to the public. So whatever steroids and hormones that you pumping into these cows to make them grow bigger and make them have more meat, that's also making its way into the milk of the cow, and that is going into our children. It's going in not only into your children, but it's going into you. So it's essential for telling people to please stop giving their children milk. Stop letting the schools give them milk. I had to write a letter like, stop giving my child milk, like straight up. She's not allowed to have it. If she asks for it,
I had to actually go to my pediatrician and get my pediatrician to sign an actual form and submit it to the school saying that, okay, my son is not allowed to drink dairy milk. Like, so what I do is, for those who don't know, the parents out there, you can actually go to Walmart, or you can go to I don't know, Walmart sells them. I know Kroger sells them as well. They sell little 6-packs of silk almond milks, chocolate almond milks that you can get. Now,
that's what my daughter drink. Yep.
Yeah, though these are great substitutes. They have more higher nutritional value in calcium, and they have higher vitamin D levels as well. So you can actually get more nutritional value out of almond milk than you can the actual milk. Some people may say, well, it's thick. And listen, it's almost like an acquired taste. The more you do it, like me personally, I got introduced to almond milk and I started utilizing it in my cereal before I was able to drink it. Drink it normally like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Ways to substitute the dairy out. You just have to be open to the information and allow it in. But like I was saying, like Keem was saying, man, like listen, we have to get our children on this dairy shit, man. When me and Keem was talking about, I want to say about a year and a half ago, when I was telling him like, yo, you working out crazy, you getting hustled, but leave that motherfucking muscle milk and that whey protein alone. And he was like, what? Like this shit crazy. I said, yo, listen, I did some research and I found out that in these dairy factories, only thing that whey protein is pretty much a motherfucking fine. It's just they convert the milk into a fine powder. That's all it is. So it's basically milk and cheese residue that they have down there. Because what it was is they was having so much of this goo, so much of this cheese residue and milk residue just sitting around the plant, and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. So what they was doing, they was taking the long broom handles, they was sweeping that shit up and throwing it into the cellars and just turning it into waste and throwing it away like regular trash. But then they figured out, they was like, yo, we could do something with this. We can take this excess amount of goo or this excess amount of leftover dairy, and we can convert this shit into a powder form and sell it on the motherfucking market. Mix it in with whey protein, mix it in with muscle milk, and we can reproduce this shit into an actual business. You know what I'm saying, a nutritional business product. And so what they was able to do is, that's what they was doing. They was converting that shit into a powder and selling that shit. That's why a lot of times people don't even realize when you mix that muscle milk, only thing that shit it's really chemicals. It's a chemicals inflation that's your muscles is getting, you boosting yourself up, but your body is loaded with nitrogen. It's loaded with nitrogen and chemicals. So like Keem said, you're just gassing all day long. Your stomach is pretty much fucked up because you're drinking this shit, you're mixing it with water, you're mixing with so many other food elements, and it's causing your stomach to have crazy problems because your digestive system cannot handle this shit. It's going into you. You get the influx in the protein, so you will get the bulk. But for prime example, will tell you if you don't maintain that frame, that bulk will pretty much decrease or diminish. It will go away because it's not realistic. It's garbage. It's garbage, and whey protein is garbage. For those that are out there taking it, this is why, like I said, I was talking about earlier. You got this, for example. Now, plant-based, I think it's called Vega 1. This is like, I want to say it's other ones out here that's better than this, but I like this one because when I look at the nutritional components on the back, these are things that I look for that I want to see that are healthy to me. Like, you getting 20 grams of protein per serving. I mean, and this is just one scoop. Really, to be honest with you, I don't even take a whole scoop. All I do is like pretty much a half a scoop. That's all I do because I'm mixing the other foodie that's going to compensate for what I don't get. Because like I told you, I'm not big on protein, but for those that see me, I'm not a small dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wanted to get more bulk or more weight, I could do that eating a vegan plant-based diet. So the weight, the calories, and the muscle has never been a factor for me. It's just the nutritional stuff that I'm putting into my body that's compensating and making up for that. So with this right here, you're getting crazy amino acids, crazy enzymes that the body needs to function, and you're getting all the components minus the motherfucking whey protein. You see what I'm saying? You're not getting all that bullshit and shitting out that crazy shit. This goes back to what we were talking about last week as far as your stool having those crazy smells in it, because the body is trying to break down this shit and it's trying to the nutritional components of a lot of these whey proteins to where it needs to go, but it doesn't stick. It doesn't stay because it's not healthy. It's not essential for the body. It's just some shit that's going in that's giving you a structure, giving you a frame, but it's never going to maintain and it's not healthy for you. So you could get one other one that I also use. I like this right here. For those not familiar, this is from basically Now Sports, from the company called Now Foods. I buy a lot of their products, whether herbal supplements or food supplements. You can get this at Amazon. You can buy this right here at grocery mart. I know Walmart. I think Sam's Club sells this. Most grocery markets sell this. I actually bought this one right here, Keem, at fucking Wegmans, and I think it was like $24. This big tub right here. This is 2 pounds. Amazon for like $20. And when I tell you the shit that's in here, you got bromine, you got lysine, you got what is it? Alginine. I mean, these are some non-essential and your typical amino acid proteins. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are things that are good for the body, but at the same time, they're going to stay with the body and they're going to help the body reach its optimal state from working out, and you're going to get the actual physical results, not externally only as well. Because see, that's the thing. A lot of motherfuckers are so caught up in how they look externally, they don't think about what's going on inside the body. And I know from me, King, from personal experience, when I talk to people all the time, as far as, okay, I want to get in shape, the main thing I want to talk to people about when I'm giving consultations is when you want to get in shape, the first thing I ask you is, what is your diet and what are you currently eating? And I don't ask you that to say, okay, what's your diet and what you currently eating? I want to know what you eating in between meals, not your lunch, not your breakfast, not your dinners, but the shit that's going on in between, because you got to be honest with me before I can give you a consultation. We get so caught up in how we look externally as far as our body, we forget about the internal aspect.
Agreed.
Never get yourself right unless you fix internally what's going on inside your body, man. But these are some good supplements, man. I don't know if Keem also has some suggestions as far as that goes. I got some other stuff that I'm gonna talk to y'all about too that you can actually put into your smoothies after Keem go ahead and go as well, man. Some things that you can start adding to your diet.
So let's focus on. I want to transition a little bit into the fitness aspect of things, right?
Go ahead.
So I want to focus. First thing I want to focus on is if you're trying to lose weight. So I'm going to focus on if you're trying to lose weight, and then I'm going to focus on if you're trying to build muscle, right? So we already talked about making a lifestyle change, right? So let's say you're making a lifestyle change. You decided, okay, I'm gonna change my lifestyle. I'm gonna start living a healthier lifestyle. And you started with the nutrition side, right? So you're working hard at getting the right nutrition in you. You're working hard at making sure you're eating the right foods. You're cutting down the snacking. You drinking water. You start, so now you started the nutrition side. The next thing you want to do until you move into a healthy lifestyle, now we want to get into the fitness, right? So let's say you're trying to lose weight. Let's say you consider yourself a little bit overweight. Let's say you might be a lot of well overweight, whatever it may be, right? I'm gonna tell people ask me all the time, my family members, my friends, people look at me and say, man, a lot of people like to say, oh, it's genetics. It's not all the way genetics. It's not. I've been working out for 15 years. I fell in love with it when I was a kid. It ain't had nothing to do with genetics. I personally liked the way I looked when I looked in the mirror, and I decided I always wanted to look that way. You see what I'm saying? And so I worked to stay looking that way. You see what I'm saying? I've had times where I fell off, and I'll be ashamed of it. I don't let people see me like it when I fell off. I personally have a personal, I wouldn't say personal, but a friendly competition with Banks here, where I won't let Banks see me at a state where I don't feel comfortable at. I feel like, damn, I need to be looking a certain way because I know he gonna get on me about it. Like, oh, your abs not showing like they used to, or you looking a little flabby. So I have a healthy competition with my man saying where I must maintain. And I know people look for me, and I'm not talking about Banks, but I know people I have people that look to see if I'm falling off. Like, yeah, keep falling off. So that keeps me motivated. I motivate myself, and to know that other people is looking and watching to see what I'm doing, to see if I'm gonna keep that up. Because if I don't see it as they want me to fall off, but I see it if they feel like if King can do it and maintain it for this amount of time, I can do it too. You see what I'm saying? And so it motivates me to keep going. at 30 years old, when I reach 40 years old, the same thing. If I'm still able to stay active and do these things at this age, and I'm going to continue to do it throughout my life, then you can do it too. You know what I mean? But the first thing I would tell people is if you want to lose weight, and this is the easiest thing, and it's going to sound real simple, but it's the easiest thing. It's the most simplest way to put it. The easiest way to lose weight is to burn more calories than you consume. It's just that simple. If you burn more calories in your 24-hour day than you consume, you're going to lose weight. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Like that's the simplest I can put it. You literally just need to burn more calories than you consume, and that first starts at A, how many calories you put in your mouth, and then B, working to burn those calories off plus more. So let me tell you where the first thing this starts at, right? Whenever I feel like I need to cut or I need to trim, right? I no longer, first thing, and this is for everybody, right? I think everybody needs to understand this right here. Americans are trained to eat until we are full, right? That is the biggest thing we're trained to do. Finish your plate, eat till you're full. And we tell our children that, especially black folks who was raised this way, that you must eat until you're full, right? Or you must finish your plate. That is the last thing that you want to do, right? That is called gluttony, right? See, you get some hot wings or you get some food, you get a meal and you'll eat it. And your body has already sent you signals to your brain and it told you you are full. But it tastes so good, you force yourself to finish it. And you just added another 300 to 400 calories to your meal. Your body told you, hey, I got enough already. But you continue to eat. So that's the first thing you need to learn to do is discipline yourself to stop eating until you're full. And like, you eat what you need. Like, I watch my 3-year-old daughter, she'll sit down, she'll eat 2-3 nuggets and a French fry, and she'll be like, Daddy, I'm done. And I'll be like, I remember when I was a kid, I had to sit there until I finished that. But I don't make her finish because her body told her she done. If she was hungry, she would have continued to eat. She's not going to let herself starve. You see what I'm saying? Your kid is not going to let themselves starve. You think you're doing your kid a service by forcing them to finish their meal. You are not. You are doing them a disservice. You are teaching them that they should finish their plate and exercise gluttony. That's what you're teaching your child when you make them finish. Their body has already sent the signal to them, letting them know they're full. But you feel like they're misbehaving or they're not following your direction when they don't finish their meal. That is not true. They are full. So that's the first thing you need to understand is that you do not need to finish your plate. Your body tells you when you're full. If that's after 2 or 3 bites, then it's after 2 or 3 bites. Wrap it up, put it in the refrigerator, save it for later. If an hour later you start to feel hungry again, then you take another bite. But you do not have to finish your food. So that's the first thing, right? When it comes into burning more calories than you consume, right? Now, how do you consume calories, right? For me, I do what's called high intensity training, right? I do everything tired. So first thing I do when I get into the gym is I run. I run to build up a sweat. So I'll run from sometimes it'll be 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll push it to 30. It has nothing to do with the distance. I run based off of time. It has nothing to do with how fast I'm running. It has nothing to do with the speed. It has nothing to do with the speed on the treadmill. It has nothing to do with the distance. Those things I do not care about. I don't even look at it until at the end when I press stop. I do not care about how fast I was going, and I do not care about how long the distance that I ran. I do not care. I'm trying to build up a sweat, right? So I'm trying to push my body into a mode where it's burning calories, right? It's building up that sweat. And I want the heat. I want to feel the heat coming from my body, right? So I'll get on the treadmill and I'll just run. And you'll start feeling your body kick up a sweat. And then it'll start kicking up a bit more sweat. And I'll wait until my shirt is drenched in sweat. And then I'll stop. And then I'll continue immediately from that right into my workout. and I'll do my whole workout with my body at this level right here. So my body's already at the level of shit. We're tired, we're burning, we're sweating, and I don't never give it an opportunity to cool down. I wanted to continue to operate at this level. I'll catch my breath, but I won't allow my body's perspiration and the heat to cool down. I want to keep it at this optimum level, right? It keeps my joints loose, it keeps my muscles loose, and it makes my workout go more fluently, right? And my heart, absolutely. So, and my lungs too. Everything's opened up. Air is coming in. My heart rate is up. All that is it's increasing my cardiovascular system. All that is good for my workout. And so I like to do everything tired. I don't take much rest between my workout. I go from one set to the next set to the next set. If I feel like I'm resting too long, I'll do a set of abs. I'll do some set of dips, whatever it may be. But you want to do everything tired. The next thing is you going to want to quit. And so for me, it took me a long time to build up the discipline to work out by myself. Now that's the only way I can work out, because when I work out with other people, I get disappointed.
Me too. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I mean, I don't have an issue necessarily working out with cats, but I do the best with myself, man, because then I can, like you say, I can discipline myself, and I know specifically what my body needs to get to where I wanted to be at. You see what I'm saying? With no distraction.
Exactly. So it's hard to find. Not saying I'm a top peak conditioned athlete, anything like that, but it's hard to find other people that has the same mentality to me, because I do everything till failure. That's the way I train. I train until failure. So if I'm doing chest one day, I don't go into the gym and say, people write out their workouts. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 sets of this. For that, I don't write out my workout. I write out my workout after I'm done. When I'm done with my workout for the day, I'll write down what I did afterwards or in my phone, but I don't write it down going in. I don't know what I'm going to do going in. It all depends on how I feel. You see what I'm saying? And so I might go into the gym and say, all right, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do chest today. And I'll start my workout, and I might only have, depending on how I feel, I might be able to get 8 sets on one particular exercise. I might be able to do dumbbell press with the dumbbell. I might do 8 sets, and I might feel good that day. Another day, I might only be able to do 6, but I push myself until failure, until I can't move that off my chest no more. That's when I know it's time to move to the next exercise. So I'll do that. And I'll spend an hour and a half in the gym training that way. And when you train that way, you don't have to do a bunch of different chest exercises. I literally, when I do chest, I might do incline bench. I'll do dumbbells on the flat bench, right? I'll do some dips, and then I'll do some flies. And that's all I need. That's literally all I need. And then I'll probably finish up with some tricep work, because a lot of people don't know, when you bench, the last set of the bench, the last leg of pushing is your tricep. So I'll always finish up with triceps, because that'll increase your bench strength, right? So that's what I do. I might spend 10 sets on the flat bench or the incline bench. I literally might, and then I'll work up. I'll do 10, I'll do 15, 10, 15, 12, 10, 8, 5, 3, 1. And then I'll come back down. So once I hit that 3 or 1, I'll come back down to a medium weight. And when I'm at that medium weight, I'll just rep that medium weight for sets of 10 until I can't rep it no more. So I might drop down to 185.
What about your core?
Oh yeah, I'll get to core. So I'll do core either in between the workouts. So what I'll do is, after I'm done with a set of bench, sometimes I'll do it where I'll put my legs up, so I'm engaging the core for balance. Or when I'm done with my set, I'll immediately go to core. So I'll do for me, I'm a plank person, so I like the plank. I'll do planks. I'll do leg lifts. I like 6 inches. I'll do what do you call it? Russian twist. I do a little combination where I'll do sit-ups with a Russian twist. So I'll do one sit-up, Russian twist. Second sit-up, Russian twist. That counts as one. And I'll do probably 15 to 30 of those. And I'll do that in between my sets on the bench. So I'm constantly moving, constantly keeping my body in motion.
So basically, for the viewers, basically what you doing is you supersetting essentially. That's what you're doing. Like you supersetting.
Yep.
Supersetting your workouts.
Yep. And I do that because I don't like to sit still. So I want to keep that. Like a lot of people, like you can build your cardiovascular system up by doing other things besides running. And that's what people don't understand. I don't like to run. Like I'm a sprinter. I play football, so my shit is run as fast as you can for 4 seconds and then get back to the line of scrimmage. That's how I was trained to run. So I don't really like running long distances. Like some people can run long distances to build their cardiovascular system up. For me, I like to do everything tired because I know that's building my cardiovascular system. I will go, and this is the honest God truth for me. I can go months without running outside. But the way I train in the gym is that as soon as I do run outside, I won't lose much from my cardiovascular system. I haven't ran since January, but I ran yesterday and I ran 1.5 miles in under 13 minutes. So this is not a great, but it's not bad either, where it's like some people don't go that long without running, you won't completely fall off. For me, I continue to build my cardiovascular system because I do all my workouts tired. I'm making sure that I'm breathing hard between everything that I'm doing. I'm making sure that my heart is constantly working because that's the main thing about your cardiovascular system is your heart. And that's all it is your heart and your lungs. That's all it is. The muscle.
Let me touch a little bit on that, and that's good that you brought that up, man, because a lot of people don't understand that, yo. Like, and to go back to what you were saying is, I don't do no workouts unless I have my heart rate at a certain specific level that I want it is, and which meaning is I know that, just like Keem said, I can identify that by telling them, like, okay, when I get off this treadmill, depending on how I worked up my sweat, and it's almost, to be honest with you, you can almost feel with yourself. You can almost feel that heart rate is at a level to where you know that when anything that you're going into as far as your workout goes, you could be burning calories, and that your workout is going to be. And then, after you work out, you can still feel the effect of that because most people feel like, well, I'm exhausted. Me personally, after I burn out like that, after doing my motherfucking cardio at first and then transition to the workout, Keem, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the mornings, dog, I got juice. I got energy. Like, I got life. Like, I'm not going back home, showering, getting ready for work, and just burnt out, exhausted. I'm now in the groove of things. My circulatory system, my cardiovascular system is moving at 100 miles per hour. And guess what else? What's important about that? The blood flow going to my brain.
Right.
I'm not dragging ass in the morning. Right. My mind is clear.
And you're alert.
I'm alert. The certain levels of focus that I'm able to think. And as far as the memorization skills, everything, how I process is going on. How can I put this? The neurological aspect of my brain, right, is working so high to the point is that, like, it now is taking it to a toll and an effect on my behavior.
Right.
Behavior, I'm positive. Like, I can't describe it. Like, from the time I take my motherfucking shower and I get out and put my clothes on, I'm just in a groove. I'm in a good mood.
You know what it is? I'm gonna give you what the word is. You know what it is? Because this is the same thing for me. You're confident. That's the word. That's the word. It's the same thing for me. When I leave the gym or I have a good workout, I'm confident. I walk into my job. I feel like I'm walking straighter. I feel like my testosterone levels is up. I feel like I feel like you can't defeat me today. Like, nothing that y'all say to me today or whatever I'm about to deal with in this office today, it doesn't matter. I feel like people people can see your confidence and the glow coming off you. You can feel it's the energy. You see what I'm saying? It's literally an energy. People can feel and see it coming off you. They can feel that energy. Like, man, you know, I've had people in the job see me like, man, you come in here like you own this place. And that's how I feel when I walk in that motherfucker.
It's crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy. That's how I feel too. I mean, don't get it twisted. Like I said, I put my clothes on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm literally going to work, man. And it's crazy, King, because, and this is why it's so essential that we share this information with people, because, and I tell you all the time, man, it's like you said, the confidence level is I'm able now confidence to other people, because when I go around to people and I'm talking to coworkers, or either I'm in exchange and conversation and I'm building with people in the morning times, I'm able to give a certain level of energy that's going to affect them and it's going to motivate them. Do you know how many people that I come in contact with, man, whether it's some shit that I post on the IG snap or something that I do, being in the gym or I come to work, what it's doing to them, I see progress. I see the change. And this is infectious. It's to the point where it rubs off, that energy rubs to the people that you come in contact with. And this is why it's so crucial and critical that people do this, because now they can make an impact on the people that they come in with that I don't see. You see what I'm saying? Like it turns into an what's the word I'm looking for?
It's just contagious. It's contagious.
It's contagious. Yes, that's what it is. It's contagious, man. Like working out and shit, it's not about internally what you're doing. It's how it rubs off on a societal impact, man. Like the impact that it has on the society that we come in contact with, the things that we're dealing with, our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it's so crucial, and the state and the health of where we're at right now, man, is so crucial, because if you get more people, and see, this is the thing, King, I don't know how you feel about this. You have to deal with the motherfuckers that's working out just to flex, but you not working out. Like, don't get it twisted. Now, let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna knock you if you working out because you want to better yourself and improve yourself. But what good is that doing if you're not helping other people around you, man? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you, King. I don't know how you feel about it, because we talked about it one-on-one. I'm working out, right? I'm busting my ass in the gym. I'm eating healthy. I'm doing things right. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. What good is it if I'm not having an effect on my mother or my father,
right.
Or if I'm not having this same positive impact on my spouse, or my child, or my cousin, or you know what I'm saying? Like I have to, like, I feel like I'm still not doing my due diligence, because yeah, I can enjoy the benefits of it for as far as myself, because you have to focus on yourself first. But at the end of the day, it's still I still do this because the results that I show and the information that I give, I want this shit to be enlightened to the people that I come in contact with every day.
Right.
I feel like if I'm doing that, it's gonna better the society around me, the people that's around me, and it's going to impact them in a positive way, to the point where we're building and we're changing, and I can see the growth, man. You know what I'm saying, around, because that's what it's all about, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, so, and I think once we get that in our mind as a collective, not as individuals, but as a collective, as we unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we haven't reached that yet. You remember how you talked about this shit? We had a conversation about a year ago. You was like, yo, most people are not even tapped into their subconscious mindset. Like, they don't even know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just caught up in the realm of reality of which they live right now. They haven't tapped into existence outside of this.
Right.
Once they do, once they understand and reach that third eye and see the realm of what's going on in the human form, and not in the human form, but in existence outside of this, then they will be in an optimal state. Like they'd be almost like, it's the same, like we talked about it. It's the same shit applies when it comes to health and nutrition, man. Like, you have not reached nowhere near where you could be at as a human being until you touch bases on all of these components in life. And shit, food and health is definitely a part of the essential part of those things, man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like you said, it's all about trying to. I mean, it's all about trying to see what levels I can reach. You know, I like to challenge myself, and you know, it's more difficult. Like if I could do this if I could wake up every day, like honestly, if I could wake up every day, train for 2-3 hours a day, run and do, I would do it. If I could get paid to just train, I would do it. But I can't. But I can't. So for me, I challenge myself to, okay, you got to put food on the table. I like what I do I like what I do that puts food on the table. So it's not like I regret going to do it, but I got to put food on the table. I got to go to work. And so my challenge for me is now, okay, how do I work? How do I raise my child? How do I take care of my wife? How do I make sure I get home, cook dinner, do all these things, but still maintain this level of fitness that I want to have in my life? I don't want to fall off. I don't want to dad bod. So how do I maintain a certain level of fitness? And so I challenge myself, even when I say, you know, like I'm like my testimony for this week is like I said, I hadn't been running in a long time. This week I done ran 4 days this week already. So I done ran every day this week, made sure I got a run in. I ran outside for 2 days and I ran on the treadmill for another 2 days. And I made sure I worked out each day. So each day I ran and I worked out. So I challenged myself each week to say, you know what? First, I was just lifting weights for a long time. But now I'm like, you know what? I need to start getting my cardio going again. I need to challenge myself to run. So I've cut into my weight time because I work out when I'm at work now. So I run now for the first 30 minutes, and then I try to get a quick workout in real fast. So that's what I've been challenging myself to do, is to not take shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the rules that we learned when we went through the process, is no shortcuts. So I've told myself, okay, King, no more shortcuts. Make sure you're doing everything you need to be doing. And so I'm making changes and I'm like, you're not going this, like, I want people to understand, for everybody that's viewing tonight, nothing's going to happen overnight. Some people just can just say, okay, you know what, like Banks is one of these people actually who can make a decision in his mind. He can do that immediately right off the rep. And for me, so I can do that sometimes too. But some things take time, right? Sometimes you're going to fail, and it is okay to fail. It is okay to sneak and get a donut. It's okay. Don't be like, it's okay to fail. I feel like people, they'll set a goal for themselves, and then when they fail at that goal, they beat themselves up, and they say, you know what? Why even try? I'm going to fail anyway. And it is. That's, I feel like that's what people waddle in self-pity. Like it's okay to fail, right? You're going to. I fail all the time, and like it's micro failures, right? It's okay to have micro failures. Like, okay, I ate that donut I shouldn't have, or you know, I had that cheat meal I shouldn't have, or I didn't get that workout in the day and I should have, and that's okay. But when you had that micro failure, don't make it a macro failure and decide you not. Just get right back on track. It's never too late. Immediately, okay, I fucked up. I had this bad meal. How can I rectify this? Drink lots of water and flush that shit out your system. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Every time I drink, like the other day I had a donut. I was in Dunkin' Donuts. I said, I'm only getting coffee. I'm only getting coffee. Got up to the front of the line. Shit, I want that glazed donut. And I ate a donut. After I ate that donut, I said, fuck, why eat that donut? What I do? I drank 3 glasses of water as soon as I got back to the job. I said, I gotta flush this sugar out. I gotta flush this donut. I gotta flush this shit out of me, because even though I could have took that L for the day, like, man, fuck it, it's gonna fuck up the whole day. I'm just gonna get this, get that, whatever. No, you take that micro failure, and then you say fuck it, and then you move on. It's just going to take time. It's going to take time. You're going to have days where you don't feel like working out. You're going to have days where you don't feel like eating right. You're a human being, and it's tough, and it takes time. But as you build the habit of doing it, as you build everything is habitual. As human beings, we are creatures of habit. So as you start doing it, you will start conditioning your mind and your body to want to do these things. And once you condition this, everything else will follow. I am now conditioned. I'm like a fucking robot. I have to work out. I have to. Mm-hmm. I feel like shit if I don't. The failure for me is not when I eat something bad. It's when I work. It's when I don't work out. That's when I feel like shit. Like, damn, I'm fucking up. I got to do something. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. I feel like you want to chime in and say something.
No, I was just agreeing with you, man. But I was agreeing with you. Like I'm the same way, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't beat myself by what I eat, man. But when I can say, if I'm not working out or if I'm not doing something that I feel like I should be doing, you know what I'm saying? That's what a disappointment come in, and it's good. I'm glad you actually brought that fact up, is man, is that you know, transitioning is not something that, you know, and this goes by what I was saying last week. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes time, man. Real quick testament. I cut pork out of my diet in 2009, 2010. I cut red meat out of my diet officially in 2011, going into 2012. I cut chicken, turkey, and fish out of my diet all together in 2014. I went vegetarian for a year, and then now I've been a vegan for 2.5 years now. So with that being said, I've just told you every single fucking transition that I've done in the last in the last 7 years, pretty much. Every transition I've done in the past 7 years. None of this shit happens overnight. And the reason I'm giving you this, and the reason I gave you that little small chronological sequence like that is because I want you to understand is that people come to me all the time and say, "Man, fuck it, I'm done, man. I ain't eating that shit no more, man. Yo, I don't know if I want to be on the vegan wave, but what can I do? I just want to get the shit out of my." Listen, it's okay. You're going to still eat this shit. Just weed it out your diet slowly but surely. Just remove certain things here and there. That's all it takes. Just little by little. And once you start modifying and taking little things out and cutting back on it little by little, eventually it's gonna snap and you're gonna be like, yo, I'm not even eating this shit no more. I don't need it. I don't require it. It doesn't mean nothing to me. Like Keem was saying earlier, your brain is predicated based on your taste receptors. Once you fix and correct your taste receptors and how you eat your food, and you start to acquire a better taste for foods that are foreign to you or the things that you don't eat on a consistent basis, once you weed out the high sugary and the high salty foods and acquire more of a healthier taste receptor for like things like, for example, bell peppers, red onions, squash, zucchini. These are things that quite naturally that you would not eat unless you're eating it with a mixed meal or something that has poultry in it. Once you start reprogramming and restructuring your taste receptors, your brain is no longer going to have cravings for the foods that have sugar and salty things in it. They program your taste receptor. The only thing that fucks with your taste receptors more so, really, for real, is parasites. And you know what I mean? And parasites is something that we all have into our body, but it depends on how many parasites do we have and how much are we engulfing in our foods. It's in everything we eat. Like I have parasites in myself. Like at least every 2 weeks, what I do is a parasite detox, meaning that I have I do it naturally. I do it naturally sometimes. Also, I take an actual supplement that helps out with it. And the supplement has the proper dose, the proper ratio doses of each particular herb that helps cleanse the body out. One of which sometimes I eat papaya seeds. So I buy the papaya fruit and I eat those, and that'll help clean the parasites out you. In order for Akeem, I'm gonna touch bases on this. In order for you also to transition certain foods and try to get off of sugary and high salty foods, you have to do a detox. A detox is the best thing you could do before you diet and go into a diet and healthier nutritional way. So meaning what kind of detox do you need to take? It's a lot of them out there. You could do a raw fruit and vegetable detox. You could do pretty much a lemon and honey detox to a certain, which requires a lot much more discipline. It's a little bit tougher because it's almost as opposed to like a detox. It's kind of like a fast. You could do a detox, a strictly fruit detox. If you do these detoxes 3 to 5 days, and just by that third to fourth day, I promise you, you will no longer have the withdrawals you was having. You will no longer have the cravings. You won't have the headaches. You won't feel the exhaustion. Your body won't be having these symptoms that are causing you to feel ill or sick because you're weeding out the parasites inside your body. So what I do sometimes to clean out parasites, and I'm just giving you some insight out there for those who's watching, I eat papaya seeds or I eat papaya fruit. I also take a herb called wormwood, which is good to clean out parasites out your body. Black seed oil is also good to clear out parasites that you can actually take. What else is good that you can also take that is not crazy, that would help as well? Lemons, eating lemons, incorporating that into your water will help clean parasites out of your diet without making. What's up?
No, I'm saying, yep, I do that. Living in my water.
Yeah, that will also help out too. What I want to say, man. As long as the fruits are more tropical fruits like papayas are very good for parasite cleanser because it cleans them worms out of your system and your body can go through that. I'm trying to think what else that would help out as well. You could take an herb called milk thistle. That would help clean out the parasites. And I actually have that right here. This is very good.
Hey, Banks.
Yeah.
You see the chat on the side of it?
No, I can't see that because I'm on my phone with it. What's up with it?
No, I was gonna say if you write out this stuff, I could put it in the chat for the people because actually got some people in the chat that's that I'm talking to right now.
Okay.
That's live streaming with us. So if you could spell out that last herb, what you call it? How do you spell it?
Milk thistle.
Yeah, spell that out.
If y'all can see it, it's milk thistle, which is MILK thistle, as in THIS. Let me see, THISTLE. Whatever. This is a good herb right here that I take. I take this about 4 days a week.
Now tell the wife to get us some milk thistle.
Yeah. Why is this good for you? Milk thistle is good for you because it is unlike milk thistle as well as dandelion greens or dandelion root are the two main herbs and plants that you can take that help cleanse and detoxes the liver. The liver is, to me, essentially based on my personal research, is probably pound for pound the #1 organ in the body. Because of what it does for so many different other organs and how other organs work off of the liver. The pancreas works off the liver. The bladder works off the liver. The colon works off the liver. The cleaner your liver is, the better your immune system is, the better the body functions based off what I can see. So milk thistle is good because it helps reduce sugar cravings and it cleans out your liver. For those that drink heavily on the weekends, this is a great detoxer. So if you've been drinking beer, you're drinking liquor, getting fucked up, take this right here on Sundays. And this right here, this is actually a brand by Nature's Way. It's one of the standardized ways. I just ran out my organic milk thistle, but this is still a good quality because I like the brand and it's verified. It's non-GMO verified. It's also mixed with blessed thistle as well, which is another version of milk thistle, but the milligrams is not as high. So that right there is a good cleanser. What else? Oh man, I mean, just do some research. I mean,
the best cleanser. And we talked about this earlier. The best cleanser and the most simplest cleanser is water.
It's water, yeah.
That's honestly, like you said, the herbs and all the other stuff and the fruits and everything like that. That's also that's perfect. But if you can't get access to all the those other different supplements and ingredients, just drink water.
Just drink water because the body, like Keem said. Most of you niggas out there, your bodies is naturally dehydrated. Your body is dehydrated anyway. So if you taking herbs, it's funny you bring that up because Dr. Lele Africa and Minister Inky always talk about that. They always say that right now we're caught up in such this wave right now where we're taking so many herbs and we're eating so many herbs every day because we wanna fix this, we wanna repair this, we wanna heal this. But a lot of times we're not even drinking water to just naturally heal ourselves anyway. We don't even need to take herbs because our body just dehydrated. So like Kim said, if you just drink water, there's certain things about your body that will naturally heal itself. You don't even need to take a herb. Herbs are only good and essential when you're mixing it with water and you're having it with a proper nutritional diet day to day. The herbs, the water, and the nutrition that you eat, and the foods that you eating, that makes essentially the body starts to formulate and becomes optimal. If you just taking the herb and you're not drinking water, what the fuck good is that doing to you? It's not doing anything for you. You see what I'm saying?
Another thing, Banks, you know this too, but I think you might be skipping over it. Another thing that all these herbs and the water do, right? And Banks mentioning this is also crucial, right? Is that even though you might take these herbs, it's not a shortcut to getting your body in optimal condition. So you can't just eat what you want and then say, you know what, I'm gonna take some milk thistle and I'm gonna clear these parasites out. No, it's not a shortcut for that. See, so all this with all these herbs and essential nutrients and fruits are supposed to do, and the water, what you actually trying to do is put your body in a certain state, right? And the state is what people will call alkaline, right? You basically want to get your body on a pH balance state where no disease can live in it. You know, you want to maintain a certain balance within your body where, you know what I'm saying, where your electrical components and everything like that, your neurons is firing off, and you flushing out all these toxins in your body, you flushing out the mucus, you flushing out the parasites, and you want to maintain this optimal state. So what these herbs and the water does is as you're transitioning to a proper diet, as you're these will help you in that transition and help you maintain those optimum levels. So so that's what we're talking about. You can't just take these things as a shortcut. These things need to be taken firstly through a process. You can't just take one day here and one day there. No, you need to start an actual process of taking these things. And when I say a process, I mean a cycle. So you need to be having a 30-day cycle or a 20-day cycle or 7-day cycle. You don't just, oh yeah, I'm gonna drink some lemon in my water for this day. No, if you do that, you want to cycle. Okay, it's not a couple days out the week. No, you have to. In order for these things to work, you need to cycle these things because your body needs to get into a rhythm, and the body creates a rhythm with itself. It takes at least 30 days for your body to create a rhythm or a cycle. So that's what let people understand right now. So you can't just take these things a couple days out of the week and think it's going to have an optimum effect on you. No, you need to, like we said, the body and us are creatures of habit, and you have to create a cycle and put your body in these states. I didn't mean to cut you off, Mob, but I just want to throw that in there because I know that's what you meant, but I want to make sure you clarified it for everybody.
Everything. Yo, Mom.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. What you saying?
Okay. No, you good. Everything that you dropped was definitely spot on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like to go back to what you were saying, we got to stop looking for shortcuts in health. There's no shortcuts in health. And not to mention, you don't just take this shit one day. Like, you got to realize something. When I showed y'all the milk thistles, I'm just showing you one of the herbs that I take, right? I have tons of herbs right here that I can show you on camera, things that I could talk about. But the thing is about the situation, I've been taking this shit for a year and a half. So this ain't some stuff that I just pop in my mouth and be like, I'm good. My body has become adjusted and accustomed to it. So it's a part of it's a part of my nutrition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking these at night before I go to bed. I'm taking other things that I'm essentially doing, but at the same time, things that my body needs to do as well to function. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking this shit for a shortcut. I'm taking this because I know what it's doing to help improve my current health conditions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at all means, and I'm not 100%. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I have health issues, but I'm not perfect. I don't eat the perfect diet. I don't sleep the way I'm supposed to be sleeping. I don't drink as much water some days as I'm supposed to be drinking. So I know for a fact there's certain things that I can improve on as an individual myself. But when I'm doing things I need to be doing, as well as mixing these things like this and chlorella and elderberry, a lot of things like that, these are certain components that I know that I'm putting into my body that's going to help me as far as the healing process goes. on top of what I'm doing as far as working out and the lack of sleep or the lack of nutrition is going to make up for that. But you can't just have a straight toxic diet and just say, I'm going to take this or I'm going to take that and think you're just going to be good, because it don't work that way, man. Like Keem said, the body, once you're doing everything the way where it needs to be done, the body's going to be firing at all cylinders. You know what I mean? Like, so you're going to be reaping benefits necessarily from what you're taking, but all you're doing on a day-to-day perspective on how your body is functioning, man. So
also, let me throw in one more thing too. When we were talking about cleanses, I meant to throw it in there. Another good way to cleanse is to fast.
Fact.
So a lot of people, for example, I'm gonna use Ramadan for example, right? And the Muslim calendar, the month of Ramadan, which is in the Islamic calendar, right? Which is a 40-day month where Muslims fast for, right? That's not only just the Islamic tradition. It's also it dates back farther than that, and it's a spiritual tradition of also cleansing your soul, your spirit, and your body, right? So the purpose of the fast is to cleanse yourself. So another way to also kind of correct or to clean out your system or just become become a little bit more in tune with yourself is to go through a fasting process. And so a lot of people have different ways of fasting, but I know for me, I've tried fasting a few times. I'll fast for maybe a week or 2 weeks, whatever. And that doesn't mean you don't eat anything completely. But what that basically means is that you go through a long period of time where you don't consume food. So you denying your body for a while. And what that will do is put your body in a calorie deficient state where it will start consuming more calories than you actually are consuming. You see what I'm saying? So that's
it's gonna start eating on the fat cells as well. So when you like Kim said, when you put the body in a calorie deficient state, it has to feed on something. So if you currently get a lot of fat that's around your midsection or whatever, the body is now going to start to feed on those fat things, and that's how not only are you going to start losing weight, but you're also going through a detox and you're fasting and your body is naturally cleansing itself. Kim, I'm about to go get my charger, so I'm gonna be right back. But before I leave, just to touch base on what King was saying, I'm gonna let him build off with some more because he's probably familiar with this as well. Understand something. This is another reason why I maintain my weight and I maintain my frame the way I do, because a lot of people don't know this. What I do, based on what King just said, I do intermediate fasting. People are familiar with intermediate fasting, but I do pretty much intermediate fasting every day. What is intermediate fasting? They say the intermediate fasting is typically 12 to 16 hours when you don't eat anything. That means you allow your body to digest this food and go through a full cycle of digestion and processing. And now by fasting in that little window of that time that you're not eating, it allows your body to restore itself, repair itself, and now start the clock all over again, the cycle all over again. The problem is a lot of times with us, we're eating food and then we're eating and drinking shit way beyond the hours of what we're supposed to be eating. We're binge eating, and we're eating it at fucking crazy hours of the time of day. We're eating real live meals at 10:30 and 11 o'clock at night, and don't realize that when you eating at those hours, all that food is doing is going straight to the dump, to the waste. The body is not processing anything from those foods because it's already begin its window. It's begin its time to digest, and your ass should be asleep. And while it's working, its cycle is doing that, you're now eating and putting food in the body. So by the time you wake up at what time it is, 7, 8 to go to work in the morning, you're now putting more food and calories back in your body when the body really hasn't even fully processed and done and broken down the food that you just ate at 11 and 12 o'clock at night. And this is what you're doing. You're causing mass confusion to yourself. What I do by intermediate fasting is I try to typically, and I'm not, and once again, let me reemphasize this, I'm not perfect. I try to cut off my window of eating between the hours of 5:30 to 6:30 every day. If I can get my dinner in those hours and maybe have like a little snack later on, maybe at 7:30, 7 o'clock, something light, right? If I'm still want to just get something sweet after I eat my dinner. But if I can eat between 5:30 and 6:30, if I'm not eating again, because typically I don't eat my breakfast per se to 8:30, 9 o'clock. And when I do eat, I've already done intermediate fasting. That means that I have not eaten a single meal in a 14 to 15 hour window. I've given my body a lot of time. Even when, and King, don't get it twisted. That means I'm waking the fuck up, because you know how I do. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I get to the gym at 5 o'clock. Now I'm burning calories by working out, hitting the weights, doing cardio, and my body has, let's say for example, I didn't get 7 hours, I got 6 hours. It doesn't matter, because I still have not consumed food that's adding on additional calories. So now my body is burning fat. It's burning fatty cells because the food that I've eaten already digested, been processed during my sleep cycle and before my sleep cycle. So when I get to work,
now your body got to kick into the reserves, and that would be the fat cells that's left over.
Exactly. See, we make this shit more complicated than what it is, but really it's very simple. The body is very simple in how you train it and how you teach it to do what it's supposed to be doing. What we do is we become so accustomed to jumping outside of what we need to be doing because we're so out of tune with our bodies and with nature and how we're supposed to be functioning as human beings. We're just doing crazy, unorthodox shit. We're eating crazy. We're drinking crazy at all times of the hours of the night. And we don't understand why we're gaining crazy weight every single day, because you're not allowing the body to heal, repair itself, restore itself, and start over. You see what I'm saying? But let me go get my charger.
Don't even do it. Yeah, we might as well. Gotta wrap it up soon, because I gotta take it down too. But
no, go ahead. We can wrap it up pretty much now, for real, because like I said, it's been almost 2 hours anyway, man. But and for y'all out there, man, listen. I mean, it's really hard to try to really cram in all the information that I want.
We can do a part 3, because this is good. This is good. Because there's some things I wanted to touch on too. Let me touch on it real quick, and then we can wrap up.
Go ahead.
Last thing I wanted to touch on was I got in the chat a question about bulking up. So like you was talking about earlier, where you was saying protein. People think you need a lot of protein to bulk up or to put on weight. So a lot of bodybuilders, or not even say body, or people who want to put on weight or build muscle, number one thing they think about is protein, right? And again, that's a myth, right? You don't need tons and tons of protein to build weight. So let me just kind of break down the process a little bit for you, how your body builds muscle, right? So first thing you need to do to build muscle is you need to tear the muscle down, right? So you can consume all the protein you want. If you're not tearing those muscles down and allowing your body to rebuild that muscle stronger than it was before, then you're not going to bulk up. So that's the first thing. You bulk up by doing a high intensity workout where you are tearing that muscle down. So you have to break that muscle down. You have to put that muscle in a lactose acid state where you feel the burn, you say the burn, and you tear that muscle down, and then now you have to up your calorie intake. It's not just protein, it is your calorie intake. You have to up your calorie intake. So in this case, you want to do the opposite of burning more calories than you consume. You want to consume a lot of calories, right? Allow your body to take that calorie, that energy, that fat, and convert it into new muscle and bulk, right? So it doesn't have to just be protein. You can turn fat cells into muscle as well. It doesn't have to be protein. You see what I'm saying? People think you need to consume a lot of protein to build muscle. Protein helps with the building blocks of amino acids that build muscle, so it helps, but you don't have to consume tons of it in order to build muscle. The main thing is consuming a high-calorie diet, right? So you want to up the calories. That's why you see a lot of bodybuilders can eat whatever the fuck they want, because they're burning so much fat. They're burning so much fat cells that they need to consume a lot of fucking high-calorie stuff. Salty, sugary, carbs. They need to get as much calories as possible because they're building so much muscle. They're working out for 2-3 hours a day, breaking the muscles down, and now they need to pump more energy into their muscles. The body literally takes that raw energy, right, and converts it into muscle. That's all food is. Food is energy. So it breaks that down and immediately converts it into potential energy, which is muscle. That's all muscle is. Muscle is potential energy. That's all it is. It has the ability to do work. That's all it is. That's what a muscle is. It gives you the ability to do work. So we want to break this down to physics. That's exactly what it is. So you don't need high protein, as people say. You don't need a bunch of protein. You need to increase your calorie intake, and you need to increase your workout. You can, if you consume a lot of calories, but you're not breaking down muscle, guess what those calories going to get stored in your body as? Fat. So the key is you have to put yourself, you have to have a hard intensity workout, break down those muscles, and then up your calorie intake so your body now converts those calories into raw, solid, potential energy or muscle. That's all I want to just put that out there for people. So people say, I need to get my protein shakes. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that to bulk up. If you want to bulk up, all you got to do is up your calorie intake, and you can do that several different ways. Like I said, just eat more food than you burn, and you'll do it. That's basically that's all you got to do.
And if you want to lose weight, burn more calories than you taking in. I mean, it's simple math. It's simple math, man. It's 3,500 calories is in 1 pound. Just know that. So if you do the simple math, 3,500 calories in 1 pound. I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick before I wrap it up too. When we wrap it up, it's 3,500 calories in 1 pound, right? Right now, currently, I'm 164 pounds, and I'm gonna give it to y'all. That's just like this: 3,500 calories in 1 pound. If I want to lose weight and get down to 162 and lose 2 pounds, it's simple. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scale my calorie intake down to about 1,500. Because right now, based on my current weight, I shouldn't be eating no more than 2,200 calories a day. Based on my current weight and current height. This is based on a calorie calculator, right? So if I scale it down to 1,500 calories, and if I go in the gym and I burn in the gym 600 calories, and there, you know what I mean? I've engulfed it in 1,500, took away, I'm already right there down to 900 calories right there based on that day. So when I go to sleep at night, based on my sleep and metabolic rate, I burn about 1,500 calories in my sleep in a 6-hour increment. So you minus 1,500 from 900 calories. That puts me in the negative now. That's not even including on top of what I've ate that day or whatever. So I'm going to now lose weight based on that because I'm not exceeding my calorie intake. I'm decreasing that. On top of that, I'm doing cardio, burning the calories. On top of that, my metabolic sleep rate, I'm burning about 1,400 calories in a day. It's just simple math. And I mean, if you think what I said is complicated, email me or whatever, hit me up and I'll break it down to you a little more based on detail. But I'm just doing it based on a simple numbers game, is that we have to start using our brains in how we eat and how we apply and how we do certain things. A lot of people say, well, shit, I mean, that's just too much work. I ain't got time to be counting no calories and everything I eat. Trust me. I tell people all the time, when I lost 60 fucking pounds,
facts.
And
this man lost 60 pounds.
I counted calories, and it got to the point where I only counted calories, Keem, for about 1 or 2 months, because then I got on the nutritional regimen. I knew what I was eating every day. I knew the calories that was in the things that I was eating, and even if I ate a cheat meal, I knew the calories that was in that. So by doing that, my mind subconsciously programmed itself to know the calorie intake in every food that I was eating. So I didn't have to specifically count everything that I was eating every day. The mind just knew it. Because we're creatures of habitat. If we eat something, most likely we're going to eat the shit every single week, whether it's reckless or not. We're not eating different foods because we're not coming in contact with so many different foods. So you basically just gotta, once you start counting calories and looking at certain things and doing the numbers and the math, you would know how to do it. And it's the same way, like Keem said, if you want to bulk up, just increasing your fucking calorie intake and knowing what you currently eat. If you eating 2,500 a day, you need to increase that shit 3,500 if you want to gain more pounds and more mass.
But if you want,
you see what I'm saying?
You want that more, if you want that weight to be muscle, you gotta break the muscles down.
Break the muscles down.
That's what you gotta do. The gain weight is easy. You just eat more than you burn. But if you want that weight to be muscle, you gotta make sure you're breaking your muscles down. Because that weight, it gotta go somewhere. If it ain't going to build muscle, it's gonna go to store fat. That's it right there. That's it right now. So that's the simplest thing I can say.
All right, man. So we're gonna wrap this shit up, man. I don't know if we're gonna do a part 3. I'll talk to King about that throughout the week or this weekend. We'll build off of that. We may do something next week. But if y'all have any questions, feel free to email me at terrence.banks1@gmail.com. That's my main Gmail account. It's the same thing as far as the Street Colonist account. You can send me a message there, or you can hit me up on Instagram at Street Colonist. Send me a DM if you have any type of questions or you have any kind of inquiries that you want a nutritional consultation. You can reach Keem at what is it?
AKSmith34@gmail.com.
There you go.
Hit him up. Facebook me, Akeem Smith. That's my government. And yeah, just shoot me a message. Friend request me, whatever. We can talk about this all day. This is what I do. This is my lifestyle, health and nutrition, fitness. This is what I love to talk about. So any advice I can give you, any help, you want me to come meet you at a field and go over some work with you, I'm willing to do whatever. I want to see all my people be fit. I want to see all my people be healthy. I don't want to see nobody out there, because, when you feel good, I like to feel like I'm helping people. So, if I can help anybody do anything, like you said, I'm there for everybody, and this is free. You don't got to pay me nothing. Just be willing to work. If you want to work out with me, or you want me to come help you work out, just be willing to work. That's the only thing I say. Just be willing to work.
Yeah, and the same here, man. Listen, man. I give consultations every week, man. Whether they work for people or whether they don't, I don't give a fuck. I'm here for helping. It's what I love to do, man. It's what I do, man. I study, I read, I write, I take notes, and I research. So if it's something you have a question about or you wanted to get some more information on that I didn't cover tonight, like I said, email me at, once again, terrence.banks1@gmail.com, or hit me up on Instagram at Street Colonist, man. Those are my two main as far as social media contacts, and also just in general, man, email correspondence. I thank y'all for tuning in tonight, man, to your boys, man, at Black Men Discuss. Like I said, we're gonna keep y'all posted on what we're gonna do next week, man. We appreciate the love and support that y'all show us, and this is what we love to do, man. So King, if you ain't got nothing, I'm good over here, brother.
I'm good, man. Good night, people.
All right, peace.